It is another Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
Tom. So, if there's still tickets left by this time, you'll be lucky, but tomanddanlandcruise.com.
It's a go.
It's, if you don't know about it, all the information's on that website. Thank you to Just Call Mo, ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, and Sports Subaru for being our presenting sponsors.
Yeah, there are presenting sponsors.
We got a lot of other sponsors on there.
We love all of our sponsors. Yeah, go see all of our sponsors, especially the big ones.
Yeah. So anyway, I went to St. Augustine for my anniversary weekend.
What'd you think? World's oldest city.
Well, I've been there before.
Oh, okay. That's right. You've been with me a couple of times. It's starting to lose its allure, and this is coming from a man who's pro St. Augustine. I went to school in St. Augustine at Flagler College. My parents, my mom still has, I guess technically still has a place in St. Augustine.
Yeah. Well, the beach and the town overall, I don't care about any of the touristy things.
Me neither. It's a great city, though. I've always had a fond, kind of a little spot in my heart for St. Augustine.
I look at it if you're on the boat, and it's cooler to look at an old fort and an old city than in a regular, just Daytona Beach or, what I'm saying? There's the backdrop is cool. So, if you don't go into the city, it's a cool destination to go to. Anyway.
I always try to imagine what it would have been like to have been standing on a wooden boat while cannonballs from the fort were being shot at your boat.
Oh, yeah. Bad.
Because, your perception of, an accurate hit, it doesn't seem like they would hit very often, right? Those first couple of shots are going to be wonky.
Well,
until they start doing the math, right?
Yeah.
The first couple shots are not going to be good because they got to start working the math and doing the numbers. You're using an eye thing, and you're like, all right, starboard, 2 degrees, give me the thing. Light the fuse.
Crazy difficult to hit some ship with a cannonball, 5,000 yards away. The crazy.
Did we get it?
And you just happen to not be paying attention, right? And the cannonball that's reserved for ripping the floors apart of your boat, red hot hits your legs.
Oh, it does.
And it just incinerates you, right?
Yeah.
And it cauterizes it. It blows you in half, but it seals a part of you up because it's red hot flaming.
It's coming out of there as fast as a bullet, but there's
actually it's coming out really slow.
Yeah. So
and excruciating.
I called my wife because she can.
What line is she on?
Verify. I think one. Yeah.
Hey, Crystal Van.
Hi.
Hey, baby. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Happy anniversary. Now we pre-recorded this, but
happy anniversary, guys.
We recorded this on March 1st, which is our 13th wedding anniversary. Now, legally, we've been married 14 years, right? Or that's coming up.
I'm the 26th or 4th or something.
Yeah. That was the goof
Okay, so
wedding.
the first is the actual. Well, okay,
legal.
The first is the legal. The 26th or 24th or 27th is the goof?
No. The
goof was the legal, is the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Okay, now, yes. The goof is the legal, but you celebrate the non-goof. Gotcha.
The regular.
Yeah, because...
It's kind of a goof, too, though. If you look at the whole, characters that were there.
I wouldn't say that, but hey, it's your wife.
So, anyway, March 1st.
It was a nice wedding.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful wedding. I walked in on your mom peeing. I caught the meemaws.
Oh, no.
So I think we went to St. Augustine our first wedding anniversary, and we took the boat up. Mm-hmm. I don't know, you remember that story? We got caught in the storm. We went out when the dock master said, "Don't go out. It's going to be a storm."
So even though that wasn't a great experience, you think the 13th year, which is the unluckiest year, will be, let's go back to St. Augustine.
Yes.
Okay.
First I never learned my lesson.
It's like
don't believe in supernatural
They're
anything.
bringing the original cast of Real World back together.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, this is the same
Paramount
thing
Plus.
for Tom. They're doing the same thing. He's going to do it again.
Don't believe in luck or, it's all just coincidence. That's what.
Yep.
Anyway, so we went out there the first year, and then we've gone back a lot of times.
Yeah, you took me one time.
Yeah. So we decided to go up there, and we decided to do something a little different this time where we were like, well, let's go out for a sunset cruise. but let's go over to the other docks near downtown and then get out. Like, you know, just stop there.
Yeah. So you're going to
tie up and then just walk into town. Right.
Like as if you were using your boat for a mode of transportation.
Yes, yeah.
Like the pioneers did.
And because we don't have a car, obviously we'd have the Uber or whatever. We got kids. So we figured we'd just ride over there. Now, it involved us riding back at night, which we talked about, and we're like, it couldn't be that hard. And now, babe, can you explain to Daniel and Samantha about, because I think everybody realizes or thinks that I'm talking you into this, and they can't understand why you don't let me do any of this. But I tell them, like, my wife's the one that says, like, oh, yeah, we could do it. She is as confident as I am. And then usually
we did it.
You know, sure, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
You did.
But the same thing with the storm and the harbor master. Like, I get a lot of the blame here for a lot of this stuff.
Well,
and my wife, sometimes, I even am apprehensive sometimes, and she's like, don't be a P word.
I think maybe your wife sometimes gives you the confidence that you need to do extraordinary things that others can't do.
No, it's not extraordinary.
That's why I'm doing my job over here.
No, I'm being serious. I wasn't, like, you're looking at me, you're laughing at me like I'm mocking. I'm not.
Well,
I'm saying
none of this is extraordinary.
that I was explaining to you this morning. I feel like Crystal will, I feel like sometimes she gave us the necessary push when we needed to quit our jobs and focus seriously on this.
So we, you take the boat out, the sun's setting.
I've never heard of anybody doing this, by the way. I didn't know this was a thing. Do people get on your boats in boat towns? Do you get on your boat and take it into the town?
I don't know.
Because that's cool. I think that's really cool.
Yeah,
but I didn't know you did that. I thought, like, I'm not a boatman. I'm a carman.
Well, during the day, I guess. I didn't see that many boats at all at night.
That's what I'm saying. I've never heard of anybody going, let's get on our boat, we'll drive it into the center dock of the city, walk around the city, and then get it back on our boat and then take it away. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought, well, a lot of people would do this, especially if you lived in a town where there's boats everywhere. Yeah. It's like you just travel by boat. Even at night, the intercoastal will be buzzing with boats here and there. It
sounds fun and pretty.
Especially, like, I imagine then people think, oh, well, I had a few, I'll drive my boat. It's less dangerous.
Safer.
Even though it's, you can make the argument more dangerous. But so, no seatbelts is a pitch black in the water.
You're spinning propeller of death.
Yeah. So anyway, we took the boat out. The sun's setting over the fort.
It's got to be nice, right? It's got to be awesome.
We go to the downtown little marina that's right, like you
it's
get off.
It's got to be exciting to know that you're driving your boat for the first time to beautiful downtown St. Augustine, home of a novelty hot sauce store.
And
Daniel, what was the last time you were there?
We went, I want to say, I couldn't tell you the last time I went to St. George Street. Maybe a couple years.
So crowded. And I don't know if it was like COVID crowded because Florida's open and people are here because they can go out and do things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or if I've just gotten older and like more curmudgeon and don't want to be around a lot of people. But I could not believe how crowded it was. It was like walking. I don't know.
With the weather, you had everything working for you, too. Like, the weather was phenomenal. They probably had some sort of once a month or last Saturday, jewelry fest where old people get out there and they sell this Chinese garbage that they've ordered off of websites, convinced that they're going to be the next, Picasso making wire jewelry. Yeah. It's all garbage, you dumb old people.
It was S-Slam, though, and, like, I was like, whoa, there's more people here than I thought. Like, I thought... like a pandemic may thin somebody. It was like a holiday weekend. So we were like, whoa, it's too crowded. We got to get out of here. Like we can't go inside anywhere. It's just,
we didn't stay very long.
It's too packed.
I wanted to get some Saddam Hussein hot sauce.
Now, but before.
Well, I think all we really were going to do was get out and walk down to the ice cream shop and get ice cream for the kids, and then go back. They also have a putt-putt golf there that closes at 5:00. So I think that's kind of stupid. It would be fun to do that at night.
Yeah, putt-putt before 5? Who plays putt-putt before 5? Yeah. I'd like to meet that person. I don't think I've ever heard of that. Lunch putt-putt? Who does that?
So
it closes at 5. Isn't that dumb?
Yeah, but an insane person would play putt-putt like at 11:30. Who does that?
Now, before we left, this gentleman comes up to me and
excuse me, sir, your boat is floating away.
And
he didn't just come up to you.
Well, you know what it is? Okay.
He was like standing in the middle of the street. No, he was standing in the middle of St. George Street. He's wearing army pants and a tight black shirt with like a Velcro label on it. Like it looks like some sort of army or military garb. And then he puts his hand out kind of aggressively and he's like, "Hey guys, they're filming up ahead." And we've had a couple of complaints. And then he reaches into his bag and he pulled out a baseball cap and put it on Max's head.
No,
and said,
do not put a hat on my kid.
Wait, they're filming up ahead. I need to dress these.
What is happening?
Wait, he said I need... And,
that's exactly how it happened.
So he's like, they're filming
up
ahead.
So during a pandemic, a stranger's just going to place a hat on a random child's head?
They're
That's
filming
crazy.
up ahead. Your sons need these crappy baseball... Like, what kind of hat is it?
All right, well, I'll explain. So now, here's the problem.
Okay. I'm very confused.
I don't know what's going on.
The problem is I'm out of practice for making myself, shielding myself from panhandlers and scammers because I haven't been out in public for a long time. And usually, you know, when you're out in St. Augustine and busy, like you
have a panhandler callus.
But there's certain you get yourself ready for panhandlers and for people trying to sell you garbage.
Head down, busy walk.
Yes, yes.
There's techniques.
So, but the problem is I was thrown off because I haven't been around.
This guy popped out of nowhere. This is like, what are those things called where they start dancing in the middle of nowhere?
And so usually
flash mob. This guy's a goddamn flash mob.
Yeah, he and like he stopped us. He's like, hey, they're filming up ahead. And so that caught my attention. Like, well, am I not supposed to walk there? You know, like so. Then that was already like he had gotten my attention with that. And then he said we've had a couple of complaints. And then I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, what
complaints about what? Like people walking by? Like so now I'm really listening to see what he's going to say. And then he flips the hat onto Max's head and says something about Captain America. And before I know it, both the kids had hats on. And he's saying we're working for, you know, like the homeless league or something. And here's my badge. And he pulls out one of these like zip badges from his belt buckle, but like obviously I'm not going to take it and examine what's on it, you know. But it's just one of those things where you flash a badge and nobody's going to see what it actually is.
Sure, it's a clipboard.
And he was trying to show us how legitimate he was, you know.
Yeah. By the way, when you flash a badge at me, like what? Even if it was, I would have no way. Even police badges, whatever badge, like me looking at it will make no difference to whether I believe you or not because I don't know. Yeah. If I look at a badge, like, what does that mean?
The opposite. I'll do anything for any badge I see.
Well,
even if I think you have a badge or a badge.
So anyway, so the guy starts telling me like now both the boys have hats, and then now I realize. So
is he trying to raise money for like a homeless vet?
No, it's a scam. It's
it could be a scam, but his idea is to say I'm I fought for the country, I'm a vet, and I'm homeless, and
yes,
okay, gotcha.
So his overall pitch is I'm selling these hats, which are basically American flag hats. Or from what I've seen, like it looked like a regular trucker hat with an American flag patch on the top.
Gotcha.
Right? And that's
like the tactical Velcro
yes,
patchy.
Yeah.
I've seen those.
No, but listen, let me tell you something about the hats. Mm-hmm. They have a Velcro. They do have a Velcro on the front. Like it's an American flag in black and blue on the front of Max's hat.
Okay, that's
and if you peel the American flag off, it says veteran. And the same on your Tommy. Tommy's is camo colored. And if you peel it off, it says veteran. So I'm like, these are like stolen valor hats. Yeah. Like you can't just buy a veteran hat.
Well, I didn't know. He didn't sell me on that.
Like, I think I could go to a store and buy a veteran hat for like my grandpa.
I don't think
who was in the Navy.
Well, yeah, but
as a gift.
But you're not supposed to wear it.
No.
I don't know. I don't know what the rules are.
I guess you could, but you probably shouldn't.
Are you? Are you supposed to wear a hat as a veteran? But
if you're not a veteran, it would be disrespectful. Yeah. You should not do that.
That's what I would think. Anyway, but this guy's just some bum selling.
Yes.
You know, like whatever.
Times are tough. You got veteran hats. You're selling veteran hats and wearing them.
And he did the move.
Oh, this is bad.
He starts pressuring me into I first tried to.
Crystal, are you enjoying this?
No, I wanted to step in and say no. Just go. We're not giving you any money. Goodbye. Have a nice day, and then walk away. But like the hats were already on my kids' heads, and also they're, you know, I don't always want to be like the bitch that comes in and like,
I know.
You know what I'm saying? I feel like
I understand. I'm that guy. I'm the heavy. I don't want to be the guy that has to come in and ruin the fun Stolen Valor hat parade.
Yeah.
But you're not right. But there's no
But
fun.
it's a COVID hat. I don't want it.
Yeah,
But-
I don't want to.
No, yeah, then it's going to be mean mommy. Mean mommy never lets us have any fun.
Yeah.
And that
Mommy,
guy
Dad,
would have been like, man, that guy's getting towed around by a mean old lady or whatever. You know, so I just sat there and let it happen.
Mommy doesn't let us pretend that we fought a desert storm.
I
did 4 deployments.
once the kids.
How dare you make fun of Max?
Once he had, once
the
the kids
sweetest.
had the hats, and then he started doing the this is for a the hats are free, but we asked for a suggested donation.
Oh.
and then I started. I was like,
Okay,
God
no,
damn it!
He asked for a suggested donation of $15 or $20 per hat. Okay, and then at the
Nice
end
hat.
of this whole thing, TC looked at him and said, "Okay, you can put me down for 20 per hat."
Whoa.
Okay, the guy
whoa.
gave you a lower number.
That is
Why
not
did
what you
go
told
with a
us,
higher
Tom.
number?
Yeah, this story changed.
Yeah, it did.
We got a different story.
Because he is lying to me
Did I
and saying
ruin
it's for the
You
homeless.
didn't ruin anything. You
So-
just made us all realize that we get half-truths around here.
No, but like when he says this is for the homeless, and then what am I going to do? Ask for the less? Like I want the $15. That's what I then feel pressured into.
He's already
giving
forcing you to buy a hat.
the
Well, you have to
$20
say,
donation.
Okay, if I give you 15, what does that not include compared to the $20 stinky hat donation?
and then I tried to say that I had no money, but of course he's got
It's
a square.
mind-blowing to me. It's
All bums have squares
It's
now.
mind-blowing to me that you find that this is less difficult than just saying, "Get away from me, stinky old bum!"
I'm telling you.
Yeah, because chances are you'll never see this guy again.
Yeah.
So who cares?
If you just yelled at this guy's face to get away from me, like it's amazing to me that would be harder than this whole thing with the square and the just standing there, even watching Crystal get irritated.
Well, I don't want to do any of this, but I'm telling you, my bum repellent it's not as focused as it was
It
before.
doesn't exist.
Because
Stop lying. It doesn't exist.
No, I used to like
He may have had it. I think he did.
No, at least I could be like, I'm sorry, I don't want like no, like they can con me out
So
of
you're
a lot
saying
of
you're
things.
so far out of practice now that there's no going back?
Well, now it's just anybody can get me. It's like,
Oh,
I want to
don't
buy
t-
this.
don't
Yes,
put
I
that
do.
on the
Say that
show.
out loud.
Anybody, I'll buy anything you're selling.
Wow.
If you catch me in the right position, which is basically now on the phone, I just hang up on your face because then I can hide because that's me disappearing. But in person, I can't get away. I have to buy it, and then
Interesting.
So anyway, they scammed me out of $40.
Well, where are the hats? Bring them in. I'll
Then-
wear one.
Yeah,
we-
what are the hats now?
Then we realized that
Oh my gosh.
that when you take the American
The
flag patch off, it
each
says
of
veteran
your
underneath.
son was a 4-star general. Yeah.
And I was like, God! And the colors, there's also the guy leaned into me after I purchased the hats.
Always the lead
And
in. Like, you're
in,
one of me, right?
he's like, hey, Trump's coming. And then I'm like, what? Coming where? Why'd you tell me that? And then I was, that's what and then he's like, he's coming. And then I'm like, all right.
Where's he going to be?
And then I'm like, all right. And then,
Did you say,
bye-bye.
wait, I need more? And he's like, I can't tell you
No,
more. I got to go.
He just thought that I was on his team, and he was like, he's coming. I'm like, all right, thank you. And then I bought my hats.
Oh, wow.
And when we got on the boat to go back in the middle of the night, I did think to myself, I was like, well, if we'd run aground, because there's a huge sandbar there, like basically,
Yeah, it's sketchy.
The inlet comes in and then splits north and south, right?
Correct.
And then, but where it comes in is basically built up a huge sand shallow
jetty
part.
or whatever. I don't even know what you call that.
I think it's because the ocean brings sand in and just builds up so you kind of have
There used to be a high collection of cheap flea market camo hats that had conglomerated there.
So I knew that was there, and there's oyster beds, and then there's like shallow parts near the fort. But when we got underneath the Bridge of Lions and started heading back towards Conch House, which is basically you have to take a right and go towards the ocean,
Yeah.
and then take a right last minute to go to the conch house.
Back towards A1A for those of you that in cars.
We when we got on the boat and we were in the middle of the intercoastal, it was darker than I anticipated. I couldn't see anything.
Well,
we couldn't see the markers.
Well, you were wearing your Stolen Valor hat over your eyes because you were so impressed with it.
Well,
it was a full Admiral's hat. It looked like Captain Crunch's actual hat.
I did think to myself, well, if we do run aground and I have to call the police to come save us, and then they're mad,
you throw that Blues Lives Matter hat
on. I was like, boys, put your hats on. If we run aground,
absolutely.
They'll
and Max Q siren noises in 3, 2.
But I did.
It was like, so the moon was supposed to be really big, right? And the moon was really big, but it was still sort of at the horizon level when we were leaving the dock. So it wasn't lighting up the waterway yet. It was really, really, really dark. And the pylons for the channel markers, you couldn't see them. They're not lit. I thought that they would have little lights on the top, like a little red one.
Yeah, that's what I said. Solar-powered lights.
Okay.
Just to tell
me.
They
didn't.
Crystal Van, I was asking Tom these questions this morning, and then he looked at me like I was trying to screw with him. And I promise you I'm not, because I don't know. So here is my question, because you're the first mate of the Lena 3. When you're going out, do you carry a 1 million candle power light for you to be at the front of the boat, or a guest to help the pilot? What are you supposed to do? Because I don't think I've ever been on a boat at night.
No, nighttime boating, it's usually not that dark. Like, you can still see. I mean, we were fine. We could see. The only thing you're going to run into are, other boats, and they have their lights on, or, the pilings, which they did appear in plenty of time for us as long as you're going slow. Like, we weren't going to run into them, but you couldn't see the next one. It appears 20 yards out, and then the next one is 100 yards away, so you have to wait the 80-yard difference till you see the next one. You know what I'm saying?
Is there a proper speed? Because I'm asking, and of course, we have somebody in the Twitch chat room. Clark's like, laughing my ass off, no spotlight. I'm asking. I don't fucking know.
Oh, we're doing
I'll edit it out.
I love people who laugh at you for not knowing something.
Yeah, of course I don't know. I don't own a boat. I'm actually asking because
I don't know.
What you said made a lot of sense. To have the lights on the top of the marker makes sense.
Well, only so we could see it, but maybe it's to dissuade people from going out at night. It's they think of it as if we light up the markers, then we're telling all
encouraging
all the drunks and everybody who think they can navigate this at night that it's okay.
Because people like pretty lights.
No, then they'll just they'll have a false sense of confidence that they can go out at night. Like this
close one eye and then shoot the light. Okay, yeah.
This whole thing told me, and
this is making sense.
By the way, the fact that nobody else was out there told me this is not something that everybody does. And I learned
there
that
were people. There were other people. There were other boats.
There was
we saw 3 boats.
Yeah, but it was a tour. There was one tour boat.
And one police boat and then one sunken boat.
It wasn't like a bunch of people were just navigating, going back and forth to the bar
it wasn't
I thought.
It wasn't like traffic.
I thought that there would be people going from their house to the bar to downtown.
I don't think they
around.
use it like it's a skateboard or a one-wheel. I think it's a boat.
Anyway, what do you think, babe? I don't know if you thought about this, but I was all that ran through my mind is what the cops were gonna say once they bring towboat out there, and then they have to bring a police boat. Of course they have to get the guy out of bed. They call him. They're like, some guy ran aground with his family and needs help, and they're like, God, because they're mad. So they have to get out of bed, get to their boat, launch their boat, come out to us.
It was 8 o'clock. They probably were not at that. They were probably at the bar. But I never thought we were going to run aground, babe, because it was high tide. And we knew where we were going.
I thought about I thought about this. I want towboat to have automated, autonomous, the straight up, the self-driving.
Oh yeah,
that way there's no if you call you call the shame line. You give me the robot, so nobody can give me S. So when the robot pulls up, he's like, you did it again, didn't you, Van?
Yeah, the robot just comes and then pulls you out, and then you just pay through credit card.
Well, you already paid.
You pay over the phone.
You already paid.
That's right, because most of...
Give me that autonomous robot boat.
You know what? You bring up a great point, because most of the hassle and the embarrassment comes when being saved. I've been saved a lot.
Looking at people's eyes, admission of guilt.
Like when the towboat comes to pull you, or the cops come to flip your boat over because you're the song. It's always the shame from the guy looking at you. And
if it was a robot, I'd do it every weekend.
How did you get yourself in this position, you idiot? And then you have to be like shamed, and like you're like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. You know,
there's a reason that you have sex less than you masturbate.
Yeah. Like, babe, remember the time that
it's a perfect analogy.
You yelled at those people, and you almost got me into a fight at the dock at the Winter Park chain of lakes.
Trump's gonna win, you'll see.
You know what?
And then
that guy stole our parking space. I was waiting with my blinker on, and that guy stole my parking space.
I remember.
And he deserves to be yelled at.
I remember this story.
And then we went out and we yelled. You yelled at the guy, and then I almost had to do the like, oh, I'm gonna go protect my wife, and then I
hold my wallet.
No, you did not.
I'm wrestling the guy. He's throwing me down into the.
You're doing that movie where you guys are wrestling in like a half dirt parking lot with little white rocks all in it.
My kids are crying. We didn't have kids.
Well, they're playing Minecraft on
anyway, she did yell at some guy, and then we went out on the lake. Our boat broke down, and then it was getting close to nighttime, and the only person left was the same guy, and then we had to wave him down, and he had to give us a jump. And then the whole time he's just...
and he didn't say a word, did he?
Oh, no. He said, oh, look who we... Oh,
yeah,
he did it the whole thing.
What do we have here?
Yeah. Looks like next time you'll be nicer to, that whole thing. Even though he was... and I had to just take the shame. Remember, I wanted to drop his battery charger in the water? And then I wanted to jump over and then start fighting with him and his family. Anyway, that's the worst part, being saved. It's a shame. But
all in all, a great day on the city, right?
Yeah.
Listen, Well, I don't know. I like it better out of the city.
But
it was fun.
I can understand being out in the water, like a little bit, too crowded is gonna be weird.
And this is we're recording this for ACT, so we can't tell the other story. I don't even know if you want to tell that one. But
which one? What are you talking about?
You didn't even tell us.
No, what are you talking about?
You didn't even tell us
the old Porta.
Don't you dare.
Okay.
Don't you dare.
The Porta.
No.
All right, babe. I'll call you later.
You're saving your good stuff.
I'll tell him the BDM show next week.
No, you are not going to.
Okay, I won't.
You do not have my permission.
No porta potty story here. You have our word, and he probably didn't even tell me it this morning.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah, he didn't.
No. All right, babe. I'll happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to me. Okay.
I'll see you later.
Bye.
Tell us get us on that porta potty story, buddy.
No. It's just something.
Porta potty should be destroyed.
It's jellyfish season apparently, and there's jellyfish
Great
everywhere. It's
switch fast.
all over.
You know who really likes porta potties? Jellyfish.
Here's how much.
Wait a minute. Did someone get stung and had to pee on their foot?
No. Here's how much my wife's an animal lover, and this is the torture I go through. So there's jellyfish washed ashore, right? We stopped at the beach on the way back.
Everywhere.
So we pulled up, and there's a bunch of jellyfish on the shore. Tide was going out, and they just get washed up, right? And some of them are just been baking in the sun on the beach.
I like them when they start to disintegrate, and the needles, the stinging needles, get spread everywhere. So no matter what you do, you're just sting crazy.
And so we got off the boat at the beach, and the first thing Tommy and Max wanted to do was poke the jellyfish on the shore with a stick.
You know why you should applaud that? Because that means they're regular, good old American boys.
Yeah.
Because if they had any other inclination other than wanting to jam a stick through a jellyfish, they'd be weirdos.
Yeah. And
they passed the test.
So, of course, I was like, yeah, go ahead.
I still want to do that, by the way. I'm not a chopper.
Find a live jellyfish and stab them. I don't care. No one cares.
I am not a chopper, but when I see jellyfish, I always want to step on them or stab them.
Yeah.
They just look like something I want to mess with.
Go stab crazy, whatever. Even the ones you see in the water, stab them. I don't care. No one cares. No one.
It's the least.
And Crystal does not like it. She's like, don't stab them. And then I'm like, the ones on the beach are obviously
what
dead.
If they had no
But she's like, what if they're not dead? That doesn't
like if we really deep dove this and got into it and they said
have a brain
and said, look, there's no way for them to know. They have no idea. You could chop them in half a million times, they'd never know nothing about nothing.
Crystal, there's just some inherent don't mess with something alive. I mean, it could be a tree.
It's a good thing to have. No, it's a good thing to have.
It's like
it's better. You get upset when you cut the grass.
It's better than the alternative. The alternative is murderer. So I mean, I think I'll take her side.
Yeah, but it's too extreme. Like I understand, like don't whip your dog or kick it or whatever. But poking a jellyfish. That has to be okay for everybody. Like even animal lover, whatever, just poke is fine.
God, we used to stab them and get them on the stick and fling them at each other.
Crystal, though, she had some, she has witnessed some like animal abuse as far as like fish goes. That she is still traumatized by. Like she grew up on the boat with her uncles and her dad fishing and all this,
They used to do fish fights.
And then back in the 90s and
feed
stuff.
The fish gunpowder and make them fight to the death.
I mean, you'd be, I guess no one would be that shocked, but there's that. Most fishermen don't really treat fish with all the most respect.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of clubbing them and just, cutting the bait, the bait fish that are still living. Some are big, cutting them in a certain way that they're still alive, but they start bleeding out.
That's
you know
the
what I'm
one,
saying?
now that one I like that one.
It's just that they're cutting the wings off stingrays and they're like all things that probably they don't do anymore. In the 90s, it was a different time.
Don't be cutting the sting wings.
Yes, and she is traumatized by that, so she doesn't.
I can understand that, man. You don't need to defend it because, I think most people would prefer that more people be like her and less people like people that don't care about animals at all.
Yeah. I guess everybody has a spectrum of animals.
Sure.
Like what most people probably care the most about what we perceive as pets.
Yeah,
and,
I'm watching it naturally kind of happen. Like Maisie brought up your boys the other day. She was going to eat some bacon. She was eating her bacon and she goes, Maxie doesn't like to eat the bacon I like to eat. And I go, yeah, he doesn't eat pig. He doesn't eat meat, baby. And she's like, I think I want to be more like that. I think I want to eat like Maxie bacon. Like, I don't want to eat pig anymore. I was like, hey, you do whatever you want to do. That's fine. So thanks a lot, buddy. Great. I'll be buying
the fake bacon.
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Regular bacon is cheaper.
Than the fake one?
Yes.
That's insane.
Publix brand.
And
it doesn't taste as good, the fake bacon.
No, hell no.
But I'm not anti it. I'm kind of like you. It's like if somebody brought it to me, it was my sandwich. It's not like I'm going to throw a fit about it. I hate that.
Because the fat, you can't get the consistency. It's like cardboard, like bacon flavored paper a little bit. That's what
I like that, man. Remember Bacos?
No.
I don't think they're real bacon. I love them.
It's like flavored.
Yeah, I'm okay with all that stuff.
Flavoring. It's a little flavored balls.
Yeah, they're like little flavored, bacon flavored. I don't even know what it is. It may not even be like a protein product. It may just be like processed like carbs.
Yeah.
With like bacon flavoring.
Yeah. It's not any sort of. Yeah,
because when you describe it like that, it's kind of gross.
They will last for 100 years. Anyway, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time. Welcome to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha and Butler also here with us today.
So Butler was telling me, I think during the lunch break, that he's got a bee problem. And he said, he's like, man, these like
bees.
Removing bees is expensive. He's like, this guy's going to come do it, but it's $250. And I was like, I think because I've heard, and this is probably an urban legend, that like, I think people, because bees are valuable and there's like beekeepers that I think each, like, if you went to buy a hive from someone, I talked to my brother-in-law about this because he is a beeman.
Yeah, he is a bee guy.
And I think they're like $300 or somewhere around that if you want to buy just a hive that's already mature. Or
okay.
And then I think if you want to buy a queen, it's X amount of money. But there's like a whole bee trade. And I'm like, I think there'll be people that will come out and get your bee for free. Anyway, Butler said no. I called around and it's $250.
Is that like the standard rate?
And that was actually the lower end of the.
Oh, you're doing budget bees.
Yeah, I was going budget bee.
Oh.
And so then, of course,
I don't blame you. You don't know what you're getting into.
killing all the bees will be free, but Butler's wife is
God, another one.
Just like my wife would never. I mean, my God,
another one.
My wife wouldn't even let me kill one bee. Like she, you know, if there's a bee in the house, I spend the whole night trying to shoo it peacefully out of the house.
We used to freeze bees and tie floss to them and have bees on leashes.
Yeah, we used to do that with dragonflies.
What?
Yeah, dragonflies. You freeze a blue one, you freeze a green one. You do Navy versus Army.
Now, there's a good.
You let them fight.
There is a
Till
good.
their wings fall off.
Our wives do have good points because there are like
bees are important.
Their bees are important.
I don't know why, but I'll read about it tonight.
Well, it's basically they use them to pollinate
every
crop that we have. Basically,
without bees, there's no us.
Yeah, and then and so you know the food production.
I think it was Pink who said sometimes it just bees like that.
Now, my argument to my wife is always like this one bee and one beehive or whatever the hell. Like we save it, we kill it, it will make zero difference.
You don't know that.
And humanity,
it might be the main hive.
But she's always like, we got to do our part, and it's
save the bees.
It's a principle, and the whole thing, you know. And I'm like, because
principle, I'll get you.
Because I'm like, this is not gonna matter.
Yeah, I know.
Like giant corporations are killing bees.
Doesn't give a
by
damn.
the billions, and I'm not going to put a dent into the bee population. But the overall premise, don't kill bees. And Butler has to live by that as well. Believe me, he told me he just wants to chop them down.
Can't you smoke them yourself can you build a small fire and you get them smoked up and then they get like kind of drowsy and then you just like scoop them into, I'm envisioning like a Popeye's fried chicken, like a 2-piece box, and you kind of scoop them in and you shut it and you put it in the back of your truck and you drive out to a field. Can't be that hard. It's a bee.
I drunkenly interviewed my brother-in-law about bees one time, and I think just from that information, me and Butler can do this ourselves.
Oh my God, the Stony Baloney Bee Removal Brothers.
Yeah, I like it
because
T and B,
and we have a bee
Stony Baloney.
We have a bee.
It's good to be safe. No, that was a real act.
We have a bee expert on the line.
Yeah, line one.
So
Scott,
are you there?
Hello.
Hey.
The bees got him.
So Scott, you are a self-proclaimed bee expert, or like what's your title?
I'm a beekeeper.
Okay.
And you said it like a beekeeper would say. I'm a beekeeper.
So Scott, now I'm going to tell you what I know, and then you're just there as a professional, and you can stop me when I'm wrong.
Wouldn't it be easier to tell him what you don't know?
Or just let him tell you what he knows.
That's good. Hold on. Who said that?
Okay, well, I want to prove to you guys that
why is everything you trying to flex your BD in front of the beeman? This isn't about you.
Because I truly believe that if I just
believe,
from the information I know, and then if I watch one YouTube video, I can get Butler in a full bee suit, and then over the phone talk him into removing these bees in a safe manner, and
save you the money. All right, I'm on board.
Just from that,
yeah, I'm on board.
And then Scott can tell me if I'm right or wrong in this whole thing. So
I'm sorry that I was siding with Samantha on this one. I should have gone closer to my roots. I'm with you, buddy.
So Scott, first off, we need Travis in a bee suit, or at least the top half. You don't need the pants. Actually, you just need the face guard and the gloves.
Scott told me these are anger bees. They're in the ground. They're mad as hell.
First, where are they?
They're in my front yard. They're at my water main. They've taken over my water main. So if anything happens, I can't turn off my water.
Okay. I thought this was
it's better than
tree.
You can't turn off your... Okay. Well, it's better. At least you have water.
In my mind, it was a hive hanging from a little stem and a big... It was like
a Winnie the Pooh hive. A Pooh hive.
And then I thought you could...
Well, just take this and put it in a wheelbarrow.
Hold on. So now it's throwing me off. I didn't know these damn things were in the ground. Why are they in the ground?
They're ground bees.
Scott, why the hell are bees in the ground and not hanging off a Winnie the Pooh hive?
This time of year, a lot of them, this is early spring, so most of them are out swarming. Any hive that got too big or looking for a new home, this is the time of year they will actually go out and try to find a new house. And the water main boxes on the ground have almost the perfect size hole in them where you put your finger to for the bees to find and make a home in it. The problem with his are the bees. Any bee that is in the water main boxes are usually pretty aggressive. They have more African bee genetics in them than, say, the ones that would be in the tree. It just that they tend to like those boxes, and everyone I've seen that was in a box is very angry.
All right.
I got stung over the weekend. I concur.
That what's also very angry? Flamethrower. That's angry.
Well, no,
let's do this.
No, again, we're trying to extract the bees
you mean
safely.
I shouldn't take it personal?
No, just we're trying to get.
Right.
Now, this is what my plan would be, and stop me where I'm wrong, Scott. So
just
my
say
plan
stop right now.
is I'm going to get Butler a full bee keeper's outfit, right? We'll get him the pants, too, just because they're on the ground.
The pants are expensive.
And then
$75.
Once you're in the full beekeeper outfit, it's to my knowledge that the bees can't get you in the outfit. You're totally safe. Is that right or wrong, Scott?
Depending on the suit, most likely wrong.
Okay, then what's the point of the suit?
I'm hearing right here. Because you said most likely and you paused a little bit. I think the bee suit is fine.
Yeah, I would say if it's not going to stop the stingers, then why are you wearing it?
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 4 generations, me and my family, and I'll tell you, more than once I've been stung through a bee suit with a long sleeve shirt on underneath it, and they will still find a way in.
Hold on. Well, finding a way in is different. Can they sting through the suit, or you left some sort of
a gap somewhere?
You got your bee pants are big ojinkos.
Yeah. you got saggy bee pants. Maybe if you wore a goddamn belt and pulled them up around your waist like a real American instead of wearing your wrap bee pants.
And then your jinko bee pants, a bee flew up your leg, and that's different. Like they stung through the suit, or they found a way in.
They both. They can sting through the suit. Most of the suits we wear here in Florida are a ventilated suit. There's 3 layers of mesh, and they space the mesh out long enough so the bee stingers aren't quite long enough to penetrate through. But if you were to smash a bee up against it and push the bee into the suit, then the bee can now reach your skin.
That's how Butler has sex. Push it right up against hard.
Ain't lying.
Hold on. So you gotta like smash a bee into your suit. The suit's fine. Anyways, I'll get Butler in a full bee suit, right?
Then you need that 10-man. It looks like a watering can that you water flowers, but then it poofs smoke.
Yeah.
It's like,
I get a poof
like
can.
half a Catholic. It's like a Catholic priest poof can.
Yeah.
You need one of those.
Yeah. I can get a poof can. I can get one. No problem.
It's a smoker.
So
no, a smoker is what a gentleman puts meat in, sir. That is a poof can.
Fairville has poof cans.
It's it's the standard Wizard of Oz
poof can. It's a standard issue Wizard of Oz Cardinal Copious poof can.
Anyway, so I send Butler. He walks towards his water main with the poof can,
and he's poofing it good. He's
So from what I've seen on the videos and everything, Butler he uses a stick or whatever to get the water main lid off. And then that's where the hive's at.
You got poofing good.
Then he starts poofing crazy, right? You poof about 75 poofs.
Yeah, at least 75. God, 75 may not even do it. I'd say 75 to 200.
Oh, you know what? We'll use tactical hats. Fog machine. That's what I use. I got that. Fog's crazy. But then it's like a 30-second burst, and then you got to wait for it to heat up 2 minutes. So you better poof it the good first time. Because if you waste, you have 2 minutes of regeneration, and they're going to be swarming you.
Tom said,
you better poof it the good the first time.
So anyway, once he poofs the bees up good, that relaxes them.
Yeah, they're really relaxed. Then you can spread their legs.
And now... From what I
don't know why I said that.
From what I've talked to my brother-in-law about and seen, Butler needs to find the queen, and
then you got to deliver the documents.
So the queen is in the middle of the hive. That's where I have you, Scott.
Near the royal jelly.
Where do we find the queen? Because to my understanding, once you get the queen out, the rest of the bees will follow, and that's all you have to do is get the queen.
Beyonce.
No. The queen could be
hearing
anywhere
yes.
in the box.
Okay, hold on.
The
He
way
said
you said no makes me feel like it's a yes.
he said the queen could be anywhere in the hive. Anywhere, like on top of the hive?
It could be on the lid. It could be underneath. It could be on the dirt. It could, as soon as you open the lid, it could fall on the ground.
Oh.
And the bees will, if you do get the queen moved over to another box, and then you were to set the box right next to where they're at, they will start to slowly walk their way into the new box that you're putting them in. But most likely, you're not going to be able to find the queen. Once you smoke them real good, they're going to start running and flying like crazy. So it's going to be real hard to find the queen in that.
Well, it's the biggest one, right? It's the Mambo.
Yeah. You look for the fat one, and you start whacking
Mambo
it.
number 5.
So it's the queen is the biggest. Like it's easier to differentiate. It's not like all the bees are the same, and the queen has little shoes
Yeah,
on.
but if there's like
You know
hundreds of them, it might be harder to find.
You'll know it's the queen. She's wearing glasses.
And it's chaos because now they're running and flying everywhere.
Yep, I thought the queens didn't fly. They were stuck in the hive, and they had to be carried by the other bees.
No, the queen will fly when they're young. They fly out to mate.
Well, this is an
and
old
depending
queen.
how long she's been in the box, depending on how big she is. If the eggs are starting to turn into where she's about to lay them, she'll get real heavy where she can't fly. But they can still fly up to a foot or two if you were to. If they really try, they can get off the ground, but they can't go very far.
I'm still going to start telling people that when they ask why my wife can't dunk a basketball, I'm going to say she's just full of eggs. She can't fly. She's not a good jumper. So she's just engorged of eggs.
So, okay, then Scott, if you're the professional, then how
Why
did
is he
you...
so rude to the beekeeper?
Yeah, why are you
now?
getting mad at him?
Well, because everything I said was wrong.
Yeah.
Well, that's your fault.
Well, Scott knew that.
I don't know. I feel like it's a little bit of Scott's fault.
Okay,
Because
what?
he's the one telling me
We've
I'm
been
wrong.
over this on Weird Job Wednesday already.
No, God.
What are you trying to say? All these shows sound the same, Scott?
And Tom forgot everything he said.
Yeah. How did I forget? We had talked to you about all this, and then it wasn't even a year ago.
Okay, now tell me, what would you, if you were us and you had a beekeeper suit that Tom just purchased before your phone call, what would you do?
Yeah, like how can Travis remove these bees himself without paying $250? Because I
a
feel
lot
like
of
it's
money.
possible for you just to walk him through it, Scott. That's all I'm saying. Like
Well, you should have said that in the beginning.
yeah. Like how would you do it?
I got a shop vac that runs into a actual bee box or into a 5-gallon bucket that has another hose coming out of that, and that way you
Genius.
turn the vacuum on and you can actually suck the bees through the hose into the bucket, but they will not get sucked into the vacuumer itself. And then you can collect them all in there and then shake them into a box, or just leave them in the bucket and take them with you to somewhere else to relocate them.
Bee
That's the
vacuum.
easy way.
Never
Wait,
even
I
thought
have
of it.
my shop vac out here. Suck them up with my shop vac and then throw it in the trash.
Then what are we gonna say?
just-
No, we're gonna say
No, you punt it. They'll get their way out of it, but they won't be your problem anymore. Suck them up in my shop vac, drive them to the dump, and throw it in the dump. Problem solved. And you're not killing them. They'll find someplace else to go.
Now could the queen
Butler looked at me like, that's a brilliant idea.
Scott, could the queen be in the hive? Like you can't suck the hive up with the shop vac. So how do you get? What if the queen is inside the middle of the hive down there?
You shake, if there's comb in the box, then you'll shake all the comb off and you'll vacuum many bees as you can out of there. The problem is if you do it during, say, the middle of the day, there's still about 10% of those bees out in the field flying, out collecting nectar. So you think you get them all, and then the next morning you still got 1,000 bees inside that box.
Oh my God.
Where does our mama?
That were out foraging.
So Scott,
But
You gotta knock the comb off.
are
yeah.
our wives correct in this? Because Travis obviously just wants to spray poison down there and to be done with it.
I don't think he does. I think he's one of the driving forces behind protecting these.
No, he told me. He's like, if only
okay.
I could spray poison on them. Then I was like, I know. I'm going through the same thing. I can't even
I'm
kill
sorry,
one bee.
Travis.
Aquanet and a lighter.
Yeah.
But is there any value, Scott, to like anybody else? Like, say yourself. Like, obviously, bees are expensive. Like, there's a cost
They're
to
commodity,
getting hives and whatnot. Like, I thought someone would just come out and take this hive for free because it's worth something. Am I wrong about that?
It is and it isn't. It's worth the bees. There's no comb there. You can actually transfer straight to a box. You can rubber band it into some frames and stuff like that. But most of the time when people get into beekeeping, they buy a 5-frame nuke, which is a starter hive. It's 5 frames out of the middle of an established beehive, which already has a good queen in it, and it's an easy way to start beekeeping. Where if you do it with a swarm, you're going to have to catch the queen that's in there. You're going to have to find her and kill her, and then put a actual queen that someone raised in it, because the queen that's in that, most likely that's in there, has a lot of Africanized genes to it, and it will just be a pissed off hive its entire life until you switch the queens out for a more docile queen.
Huh. So because we've all heard the stories about the killer bees and like how they were migrating from Mexico up north, and what is just a species of that bee is more aggressive?
Yeah, the Africanized bees were brought to South America. They were doing some studies on them. They were trying to cross them with the European honeybee, which is a much more calm, docile bee. And when they were down there crossing them, the bees are so good at adapting to their environment, they just flew out and swarmed, and then they slowly made their way from South America and moved all the way up here to the United States. And people do keep African bees, and I've seen some people but every time you do keep Africanized bees and stuff, you got to get fully suited head to toe, tape your pant legs, tape your arms, tape around your neck where your veil attaches, and it's just a pain to work. And they're a liability with if anyone comes just riding by the bees on a horse or something, they could get tore up pretty bad just because the bees are so aggressive towards vibration and people messing around with their hives.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is it an insurance liability in some way to own something that at that point it just becomes like any other super aggressive dog that could hurt somebody?
Because, so Scott, I've seen at my brother-in-law's house, he's got a hive in his backyard. He's got a bunch. He's got like 100 in a field.
Well, he does like honey, right?
Yeah, he makes honey and all that stuff. But the hive in his backyard, the bees were just orderly flying out in one stream and then flying back, like getting pollen and flying back. But like, and he's like, they won't mess with you. You could stand, and I stood right next to him as close as to this light, and I just watched them fly out and fly back in like orderly fashion. And
it's relaxing a bit.
If they were Africanized bees, are you saying that if I stood that close, they started wanting to sting me and whatnot?
Yeah, a few of them would start if you were to walk just in front of the entrance of the hive. The more Africanized or more aggressive the bee species is, they'll fly out of the entrance and come right at you. Where most bees that I do queen breeding for a living, so I'm big into the genetics and the different versions of bees. So what we do, we raise them just to be as docile as possible and to have where they build a lot of brood, which is the baby bees, and build real fast, get real big and real strong real fast. So that's what we're after trait-wise, because I know the queens I'm making, I'm selling back to backyard beekeepers and commercial guys.
Gotcha.
So I don't want to sell someone a bad.
Right.
It's like selling them an aggressive dog instead of a puppy.
That's interesting. I've never thought of lineage for bees and the fact that you might have a very coveted temperament for a bee queen. That's fascinating, dude.
So Scott, is it one of these random pest control places that offer the service of non-kill bee removal, right?
I've seen that.
Is it BS in the fact that they tell you non-kill will come and extract the bees, but since these bees are the Africanized bees, aggressive bees, they're not worth anything to anybody because nobody wants aggressive bees. Do they just kill them, or do they actually? I mean, is there any law against you saying, "Hey, I'm going to relocate these bees," and then you just
are these invasive?
Just kill them and once you leave the Travis's property, because you paid the $250, which is the higher price, but you don't know what they're gonna do with them. It's not like you're not
getting an update.
You're like, I'm gonna visit them one day in a huge pasture. Where
I guess it wouldn't matter, right? Because you're paying for the service.
Yeah, but the whole point is you're paying for them to live. That's what Travis's wife wants. That's what my wife wants.
How long? Maybe he lets them live a day.
Right.
Yeah, they had a great day. Took them for ice cream and everything.
Those terms and conditions.
Yeah. Scott, is it to your knowledge that they actually do relocate them into the wild, or do they just stomp them or kill them as soon as they get off property?
Like in a Big Lots parking lot.
Because they do that with raccoons.
The two guys I work with, who I send most of my people who need a swarm removal done, they actually are beekeepers themselves. They actually have a commercial beekeeping operation too on the side, and they'll take the hive back to their house. They'll put it in a box, and they'll let it get settled in, and then they'll go through each frame that's in that hive, and then find the queen, smash the queen, and put a new queen in it, and that works 50-60% of the time. You can get it where it reestablishes as a good hive with a good queen, and other times you bring them home, put them in a box, and then they just fly away because they're so apt to swarm and to keep moving that you can't even hardly keep them in the box. You'll come back the next morning, they'll be gone.
That's nuts.
Explain to me this, Scott. So you just by killing the queen, literally the whole aggressiveness of the entire hive changes? Because all that hive was created by the original queen, so they have the Africanized, gene in them. But is that the fact that they just follow the queen's temperament or something? Like, how does that work where you get a non-Africanized queen?
It's the non-Africanized queen that you're putting in there that's going to lay eggs, and those are going to hatch out with a new temperament, and then all the older bees from the old queen will just slowly die off over the next 30 or 40 days, and then you'll have a whole brand new hive with all the lineage from that new queen.
God, it's almost like the world just super sped up with different influences, right?
Weird.
That is. Now I can see where now, and I apologize to you for making fun of your nerd voice. I can see where now you would get fascinated in the genetic aspect of the bee thing, because reintroducing a queen to rescue a hive that was like a pest hive, and you're able to kind of reboot it, so to speak. That's pretty damn cool. Very cool, man.
So basically, you're telling us not to send Travis out. And by the way, bee suit was going to be like I was going to cut a Homer bucket, some holes, some eye holes, and then put some mesh in there, and then duct tape it to his neck.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hey, wear some long sleeves, some garden
we've got that
gloves.
robot suit in there that inflates.
Oh, yeah, the inflatable robot suit.
Yeah, I figured that'd be good enough.
And then he'd be on the phone, and then, they'd be swarm crazy.
Oh, yeah, we'd be hearing it. I'll add some sound effects.
We've done the Bud Light box on the head a couple times. And you get to the yard, you drive 3 hours, get to the yard, and you forgot your veil.
Scott,
we'll just go with the Bud Light box, then that's cheaper.
For a regular person that's not allergic, obviously, if you're allergic, you're compromised. But a regular person, how many stings can you take before it actually becomes
deadly?
Deadly or poisonous to you, or is everybody different?
Everybody's different. It's just like anything else. I've been stung 60, 70 times a day on probably my worst day. And then other days, I take about 5 or 6 a day just anyhow. So I'm really used to it. But, a normal person can get stung 3 times and their whole arm swells up.
But you're probably built up immunity. Like it knows how your body does.
I got stung over the weekend at a big old elephantitis calf.
Let us sting you as many times as you start to puff up and then give you an antidote.
Like if I got stung 100 times, could it kill me?
It could swell your throat up. I mean, if you just got stung around the face and the mouth and the nose, just that alone, the swelling from that will cause your nose to start swelling up, and your throat and your cheeks, and your eyes will swell shut where you can't see.
That is the worst way to get stung. Big fat bee face is terrible.
Yeah.
Like anywhere else on me, even my genitals. Sting my genitals, my feet, everywhere. Just don't sting my face.
Oh, it stung my lips. Oh, man.
Everywhere. I'm serious. Everywhere else on me, my BH, everywhere is completely okay. Not my face, because I feel like the face, it gets tight, like that red tight.
That's the moneymaker.
Is there last question, Scott? Is there any difference between the honey that Africanized bees make and the other non-Africanized bees? Is the honey the same?
It's all the same because it's what they're foraging off of in your local area.
God,
so it's not like they're flying to Africa and then flying back with
I know that, Scott.
Get him, Scott. Get him, Scott.
I'm not an idiot. I know it seems like
I like spicy Scott.
I just wondered if, like, the Africanized bees made some sort of bitter honey because they're mean. I don't know.
That's a stupid question.
Like, I don't know. Like, maybe they're because they were more angry that it somehow translated.
Oh, because
into
they
honey.
hate their jobs?
I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway. All right, Scott. You taught us a lot, but I will retain none of it.
Yeah, I'll hear from you guys again, I'm sure.
Okay.
We'll call you in another
I love
6 months.
Scott. Scott's great.
I'll see you this weekend, Scott.
We'll call you live when I send Travis out to get the bees, and they're like,
man.
they stung his lips.
We had him
What
out
do we
here.
do?
Remember? We had him out
Yeah,
here, and we
yeah.
just dumped. I think I just poured just a thing of Publix bleach in there, and they're gone. $250? Not for me. 78 cents, and it was the little bottle too. It was like the travel one. It's like I don't even know why they make bottles of bleach that small. That's just for splashing in people you hate's faces, right?
Yeah.
Wasps.
What's up
we
with
can
that?
kill those, right?
Well, they're pollinators too, so you're not supposed to, but yeah, you can.
Is everything a pollinator?
Yes.
Wasps.
Pollinators mount up.
But wasps, what do they do with the pollen?
Well, they're pollinating the plants. I mean, they're not making honey, but they're transferring the pollen from plant to plant.
No, what I'm saying, but are they like bees are going to the each plant, and then getting and collecting whatever to go back and make the honey, right? Mm-hmm. But what are wasps?
I think it's just gathering on their bodies,
like
on their torso, and then they're going from plants. And
apparently, wasps are the ecosystem's pest control. They hunt live prey like flies, caterpillars, and
wait
spiders.
a minute. Who kills them? If they're we do? Are they the top tier?
Right. I don't know. Well, no, something must eat them. Some sort of like bigger spider, a bird,
or like birds.
Yeah, birds.
I've seen some lizards
Bats.
eat them before. Yeah, they go crazy.
Birds eat weird stuff.
Can those big fat wood bees that Daniel's dad used to shoot with BB guns?
Carpenter bees.
Carpenter bees.
Do they do anything? Can they sting you?
No.
I think they're pretty docile.
I don't think they can.
Do they have a stinger?
I think they do, and I think they have a big fat stinger.
Because we saw a giant wood bee in St. Augustine, and it was flying around, and Tommy and Max were scared of it.
I bet it didn't have a mask on either.
They were scared of it, and I was like, don't worry, that's a wood bee. It just burrows in a hole. And then Tommy's like, well, okay, good. I'm going to go grab it then.
No.
And then I was
I
like,
liked his gun. That guy's ready for life.
But then I was like, I think it could still sting you if you try to mess with it.
Don't molest the bees.
But I don't know that.
I've always thought
that
the big fat carpenter bee had a long stinger on the end of it, but it didn't do much.
So female carpenter bees do have a stinger, but they typically won't sting you unless you're grabbing at them. But male carpenter bees do not have a stinger.
No, really? So they literally can't do anything.
Well, wait a minute. Then the women should be the male because they got the stinger.
Yeah.
So just reverse that, and then it's good.
In the insect world, the women
they do a lot more.
They dominate.
They do
cutting
the
off
killing.
heads and stuff like that.
They also mate and then eat you, and
Yeah,
they it's a rough life.
I'm okay with that, though.
I'm glad we grew up in
I'm okay with you mated with me, now you eat my head. Like, I'm okay with that.
But
like, I feel like afterwards I'm huffing and puffing and I just sit there thinking about whether or not I brush my teeth or not, and then my wife chops my head off. I'm not going to know.
Do insects enjoy sex? There has to be a study on that.
I don't think
Someone get an
so.
insect on the phone. Let's ask them.
I don't think they do.
It's just driven by pure instinct and evolution.
Yeah.
Because there's only like a couple animals that even enjoy sex besides humans.
Yeah, like dolphins.
Otherwise, it's just survival.
Bonobo monkeys. And stuff
Literally
like
just to because very little animals have sex for recreation like we do, but dolphins and there's some like primates and
I think manatees have sex for fun.
Do they?
Yeah.
No, they don't.
They have big old orgies. Yeah.
No, I don't think manatees do they?
Yeah.
No, manatees are
do
the
they have to go
grossest.
belly to belly? They can't go mounting position like most animals, right? There's not enough. They'd have to move the tail up, right? Like you couldn't go on top.
Manatee style.
I don't know. I don't even know. What does a manatee use? I don't even know what
I
it would
think
do.
they have to go belly to belly to enter, right?
I don't
But
know.
they can't go doggy.
belly to belly.
Yeah, like they have to come together like belly to belly like this. Instead of they can't go regular animal in the animal world is like the man.
Yeah,
the
I
male,
think you're right. I think it's belly to belly.
Yeah.
Kind of like dolphins.
Is dolphins the same? Yeah.
I don't know about that. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it's a belly to belly. That's how I do it.
I like it when I've gained enough weight. When I'm doing that and my belly button makes a suction noise on my wife's belly button. That's when I'm Big Fat Daniel and he goes, and I'm like, I need to lose weight.
Manatee style. All right. Bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
Tom.
Samantha's here as well, and Butler's in the other room. Let's jump into some voicemail messages like this one.
Dude, Tom and Dan, it's your boy, your most famous and favorite 90s superhero, Cadillac Pat on the line here. Yo, I think I just saw something I've not seen in years. I know Tom remembers this. Remember when they used to have guys that would roll up to you on the street saying that they had got the hookup on speakers and like stereo equipment out of the back of their truck, and they would tell you the boss or they have extra and they have paperwork and they're trying to like, it's a way to sell you speaker systems. I thought that was an art of the past. I've had it happen to me 3 times where they approach me. I think I just saw some guys trying to sell speakers out of the back of their truck to some random guy. Anyways, I was very happy to see it because I thought that was long gone.
Well, he loves the nostalgia. He loves the old. He's an old soul, Pat. He loves things of days of yore.
It matters where you are geographically because the things of the past still happen where you don't go.
People haven't moved on.
Exactly. So
they haven't evolved yet. Where were you, Titusville?
Yeah, there's maybe your Daytona Beach type. There's usually all that. All the old scams. They definitely went beachside. With everything else, I was like, 100%. So you'll still happen beachside. The hats, the whole thing,
100%.
Everything.
It's still there.
And so
almost every scam you can think of is still available beachside.
I just don't know, and we've talked about this so many times about the damn speaker thing because I did get scammed with the speakers. I purchased the speakers, but like I said. At the time, because I did think I got scammed.
Yeah.
But the speakers worked. They served
a purpose.
And then I looked them up, and this was a long time ago, so there wasn't that much information online and stuff. But I looked them up online.
You get a Crutchfield?
And they were around the price that I paid for.
Yeah. So not buy them.
So it wasn't like they sold me some box with rocks in it. You know, like the old TV scam.
It was a decent enough product.
The product was okay and the speakers were fine, so it wasn't a complete scam, but we haven't really figured out exactly. I'm guessing they get these in quantities of hundreds. And then they sell them for whatever they can above the market value, and then the people in the van teams get paid a percentage of that.
You piece them out into groups. It's not like one guy's doing this. I mean, it's a team of individuals, I believe.
And so it's just a way to basically pyramid scheme sell cheap Chinese products that they got.
What's the new one though? So many of our devices, so many of our stereo equipment, maybe earbuds or something.
It's veteran hats.
There's a lot of.
Well, that'll never go away. And I think that's
beachside tchotchkes.
Yeah, beachside hat or little American flag or the deaf guy with the tiny American flag pen.
Yeah, all that.
That'll be around forever, I believe.
But also, have you guys gotten door-to-door salesmen, especially during
solar panels?
Yeah, the solar panels.
Got one last night at 9:15
at your house.
9:15. Rang the doorbell. I'm laying in bed with Andrea. We were just watching TV, and she goes, "Somebody's at the door." Obviously, she looks on the ring doorbell. Right. It's a guy going door to door selling.
See, my husband would have cussed him
out. He was selling. He was a security.
Security.
He was a security company. I don't know
security, and you're knocking on my door at 9:15 at night.
9:15.
Why do they market it like that? It must be maybe psychologically
weird
because there has to be some sort of tie in with the door-to-door product, and it must work better that way than any other way.
I mean, after 5 to me is a no. After 7 to me is what the hell are you doing? 9. After 9,
now they're waiting until they know people are going to be home.
Well, after 9, it makes
they're going to be home and asleep, so I'll come at 9:15.
You're probably right. What made me think about it? Well, then you start preying on my paranoid part. I mean, 9:15 sounds like somebody's going to say, "Help! I need help." I step outside and they kidnap me or kill me, or home invasion.
Well, or they're just checking to see if you're home. And if you're not, they try and rob you.
But now with the Ring doorbell, I do this if we're out of town and somebody rings it late.
Yeah, you still pretend you're there.
I answer. I'm like, hello? You know, like I do that.
But what is it, the industry, or is there actually some sort of
we need to talk to somebody that doesn't
thought behind the door-to-door with security systems? Like, is it the way the industry is structured that it's just like, all right, we'll get an infinite amount of people that we could pay just commission and then just blanket the city with them, and then eventually every 100 house
we're going to run out of time, but I will say, to help you answer your question correctly, it was a company we all know. I think it was like an ADT. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, but they're saying they represent that.
Like, okay, I'll say this too. I don't think the guy was up to no good. It looked like just from what I saw, I'm like, that's a legitimate
that is a scam too, where people just get the shirts of said company and then they're actually casing your house.
Yeah, but I've seen and I've had enough security people come to my door where this is a common practice for these companies. Like, it's not all scammers. Like, no. Like,
again, I don't think he was. I just don't necessarily approve of the time.
It's a common marketing ploy for these companies, which what I find is odd. In 2021,
there's a lot of those.
Why are they still doing it?
Here's another one.
It has to work.
Here's another one I don't fully understand, and it falls into your category, I believe. What about the guy that's been like multiple hundreds of, namely men that have been texting me, asking me they want to buy my mom's house. I don't know how they got my number. Every day,
public record.
Every day I get 12.
They did
every day.
They did that with my grandfather's property.
I don't want to be reminded every day.
Yeah, right.
That's just because there's a lot of people that can make money
but do people actually, to go with your question, is there a Dan Dennis out there that picks up his phone, gets the text message, "Hi, this is Harvey. Text me if you want to sell the home on blah, 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 blah," and I text him back and I go, "You're my guy?"
Dude, there's yes. And
who does that?
Yeah, I wouldn't believe it, but this happens from talking to my wife in the real estate industry and stuff like that. That there are people, especially if they don't live in the same state or out of town, where their parents die or some relative dies, and then they have to get they sell the house or whatever, and they're too busy to deal with it, so they just literally sell it to whoever wants to buy it cash and make it easy. And those people, they prey on the fact that these people don't want to put it on the market and go through buyers. They'll take the headache. They'll take $50,000 less just to get it done tomorrow and a lot of times they're splitting it with it could be 5 different relatives. So it's the difference doesn't really matter. Like $50,000 now to 5
convenience.
Is a smaller amount of money. So they're just like get rid of it. And people will buy houses for pennies on the dollar and then flip them. And that's so.
I've already had 3 today. I'll get more the rest of the day.
Because when my grandfather passed away, I got tons of calls like, "Hey, you interested in selling?" I get cash, and then because they all get cash. Yep. Because of course you'll buy the house for $50,000-$80,000 less than you could sell it on the open market, and then just turn around and flip it instantly. So that does still work.
Interesting.
Like, people don't want to deal with stuff, and like people would rather just the easy way than put in the work and get $50,000 more, which is crazy. Because most people make $50,000 in a year, and you won't do the hassle for a month.
There's also a weird stigma to even texting that text. Like, who wants to be the guy that you found out that this home is on the market because the person that owned it is deceased? You're going to be that guy to text all the people that have deceased relatives and try to buy their houses? You have to be able to compartmentalize that and take it out of play, right?
Yeah.
And be like, I am okay with this. This is just business. I'm not constantly reminding this person, or that doesn't bother me at all that I'm bothering them. During a time of grief.
No.
You have to throw that away, right?
Yeah. They don't care about that.
Let's sell these houses or buy these houses. Right?
It's all business. Bye-bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Let's dig into some neglected voicemail messages. This one's weird. Do you remember that McDonald's Millionaires
documentary?
Yeah.
HBO.
Yeah, here, check this out.
So I'm listening to your most recent Weird Job Wednesday featuring the Fazoli's dude. And you started talking about McDonald's and fast food workers, and most people just clocking in and clocking out, which I think is 99.99% of employees. I was sitting in a really nice waterfront restaurant the other day, and this elderly couple sat down beside me at the bar, and we started making conversation. And they were talking about all the different properties they had and kind of their lifestyle they have now, and they travel around and basically have done really, really, really well for themselves. And at one point, the lady held out her hand, and she had a massive ring on, a diamond-encrusted gold ring with a big M on it. And she said, "What do you think that M is for?" And I was looking at it, and it looked a lot like the McDonald's logo, but it didn't make any sense to me. But I said, I don't know. She said, "It's McDonald's. My husband, he worked his way up. He started on the fryer, and now we have franchises, and our daughter is starting her first franchise."
Oh, so this wasn't about the documentary. This is about some franchisee?
Yeah.
It's our family business. So there's that 0.001% that lived the life and worked his way up, and now is
I knew a guy.
0.001% is zero. Like, let's just
He's
call
the
it
one
zero.
guy.
I don't believe you were on the morning show. I don't believe you were working with me at the time. But there was a trainer that we knew, and he was working at, remember when there was Bally's Fitness?
Yeah.
He was working at a Bally's Fitness, really nice guy, and he and his sister went into business buying up and starting Subway franchises. And she got to a point where I want to say she had close to 50. And she was loaded.
Oh, yeah.
You can make money.
I mean, stinking rich. And then
franchisees,
he had enough of the whole Bally's thing, and he's like, "This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go make." This is before Jared. Yeah. This is when Subway. There was I know if you're younger listening to this, there was a time when, Subway rolled out, and you were like, "This is pretty cool, man.
Oh, dude,
these Subway sandwiches are amazing."
They still make money. You know what I'm saying?
They're doing fine.
You could own a bunch of franchises, Subway franchises, and make plenty of money. But that's different. You buying, picking a franchise and buying is different than the old school starting as on the fryer when you're 16, and then eventually
I only know one of those guys, Bob Mock. Remember that guy?
Yeah. But that's a thing of the past. Yeah. We only know old people have done that because guess what? It does not exist anymore. Yeah. Or if it does, it's 0%. Because who is going to start out working at Wendy's and then
you'd have to do it with like a heritage software company or something, right? And I don't even think those exist.
Well,
really.
think about it this way. So because a lot of
there's something out there.
A lot of these people that started off early on with franchises, like this guy, maybe his old man, he started as a fry cook. Like a lot of those people, they would get like some sort of stock options and things in the company, like early on, and then they gathered wealth as the company progressed. And so then you work your way up to manager, then district manager and stuff. But even so, say you started locally as a McDonald's employee and you worked as the drive-through, right? And you worked your way up, because you could do that, up to like store manager. And then if you're a good store manager, you have good numbers, you could be district manager, and then you can get your districts get bigger, right? But you can only probably get to a point where you're making like hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, right? And that's going to take you 25 years.
It'll take you a long time.
And even if you're making like $150,000 a year as a district manager for McDonald's, that's not really enough money to then start buying whole McDonald's franchises. You need like $1 million. Like cash, like an investor and stuff like that. So you could do it, but I think if you start in the 1950s and you got some sort of stock options, and then by the 1970s those stock options were worth like $1 million or something, then you take that money, then you buy franchise. I don't think you.
This is interesting. You're touching on something that I'd love to put this on our Weird Job Wednesday hunt list. Be careful what I say here, because I want to talk to somebody who owns and is a franchisee, because how much control, because
we know Zaxby's.
I remember as I was growing up, in learning what a franchise is, I remember never being really, it never really was appealing to me, because I always thought that big company would always have control over you. No matter what, you're not really getting to do what you want to do, because
you got to you gotta serve what
but
they
then
want.
I see some places where they have a little bit more freedom. You know, like they can change menu items. I'd love to see.
Well, they're all different.
Yeah, I know they're all different. I look like Mellow Mushroom, for instance. We've worked with them in the past. You know, I know that they have a little bit more leeway in certain areas where they can make almost like enough leeway to make the store seem a bit more local.
Yes,
than a chain,
yeah.
Which is smart, I think, but also a lot harder to do.
But the whole concept behind franchises is like everybody toes the franchise line, and then they have to, and that's the way to make everything the same. So the whole point is like you eat a Big Mac in Idaho, tastes the exact same as a Big Mac in Miami. You know, because it's like everybody's doing the exact same thing, and therefore you always know what you're going to get. I'm interested in how much money you actually make at the end of the year profit.
Right.
Like, so say you own a McDonald's on 50. That McDonald's
that's a good one to own.
That's on like a Bumby and 50, right? Or what is it? Is that Bumby?
Colonial?
Yeah. And
that's Colonial and Bumby. 50 and
the one right in front of the old Floor and Decor right there, you know.
Just remodeled it.
If you own that, what are you making profit, like when all's said and done, a year?
I don't know. Because it is the
50,
one of the busiest McDonald's. That thing goes.
Because even like if you had enough, or say like, okay, at the end of the year I make 100,000 profit, right? And that may not seem like that much, but if you have the money to buy, because basically they run themselves, like you have the management and stuff, and like, but you have 5 of those, then it's just you're making 500,000 off these 5 McDonald's. But is it that much? Are you making $1 million? When it's all said and done after expenses? Like, I don't know. Like, I
do want to
food industry is weird. I talked to a buddy of mine that's higher up in a smaller restaurant. There's like only 5 or 6 of them, right? And this is not a franchise. It's owned by one person. But he told me, because I was curious, I'm like, how much money does this one sports bar?
Did it surprise you or make you sad?
Surprised me how little it was. And he told me there's only like $100,000 or so profit at the end, and I'm like, really?
Yeah, but also I think I think I know the particular restaurant you're talking about. That one is very much everything made to order, homemade. You can only get this sauce here.
The ingredients are more expensive.
I'm gonna say their overhead just by design. The only thing that they got going for them cheap is probably their bar service. They probably save a lot of money there because they probably have good partnerships there. But like your McDonald's, no, I don't think anybody can. It's so it's designed for franchise.
Yeah.
Somebody in our Twitch chat room, Dan Paul, said that he's seen documentation to support $300,000 for a Chick-fil-A.
A Chick-fil-A, okay. And also, I'm interested.
Chick-fil-A is, I mean,
they're quick.
Their prices are more expensive too.
And they're also popular.
But they're fast.
And they're closed on Sundays and still making tons of money.
If you are more expensive and faster, you can make up that money.
Also, the Chick-fil-A by my house, there's always a line.
Yeah. Even the one here in Colonial,
it's never not a line. So they're pumping money out of that place.
Okay, has anybody yet? Now, and then I know we got to get out of here, but I talked to my wife about this. Has anybody yet, whether it be one of the big major McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy, Taco Bell, one of those guys, because of the pandemic, has decided, look, this is literally a freestanding drive-through only. It's got 4 drive-throughs. It's only drive-through. You cannot come inside. We're going straight quick serve. That's all we do. Eat in your car like a big fat.
Or just take it home.
In California, there's no in-store dining.
But I mean built to be a freestanding.
I'm
not saying that we altered the dining experience inside because of COVID. I'm saying we eliminated the dining experience. This is a drive-through only building. It is only drive-through.
I'm cool with that.
I'm cool with it too.
They're starting to do Wawas with drive-thrus now, and I'm excited.
They are starting to do that.
I would imagine once they become fully automated and everything's robots,
they'll come to you like a bank tube thing.
I'm okay with
bring you a sandwich in a tube.
I'm okay. Shoot it in the back.
It'll just be some sort of like no in-store, because they realize like who cares? Yeah. Like why do this? Like very little people go inside. I make fun of Daniel, but Samantha, when's the last time you went inside a McDonald's and ate?
Years.
Yeah, I don't even. God,
he still goes inside a bank, but he'll make fun of me for going inside a McDonald's.
I'm just saying, I'm not even sure if I've ever done that, and like maybe when I was a kid.
Like you got to sit on one of those really uncomfortable plastic seats that swivels only one direction.
I did it at Burger King that one time when I was doing live reads for them in the radio station.
Oh, that's sad.
But that was the only reason I ever
DJ eating in the Burger King.
go inside, or in high school maybe. But why do you go inside? Why?
I don't know. I'm a sad man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.